Good morning, Flutarians. Good morning, Flutarians. Welcome to another session of the Atomic Flutist, where my goal is to regain and maintain my tip-top flute fitness. And I want to invite you to join me in some warm-up sessions warm-up and technique sessions every Sunday through Wednesday at 9:30 a.m. Central Time. Now, you probably already know this about me, but my specialty is helping flutists improve their improvising. So let's go ahead and get started with a 3-note improvisation. Let's focus on the key of D minor today. So I'm going to turn on a drone on the note of D. And let's just start with a short, maybe 1-minute improvisation just on these 3 notes. D, E, and F natural. Remember, you can improvise with the dynamics, the articulation, maybe even the octave. If you haven't already joined us on school, please join us there. I have a Flutarian school there where you can play improv games. You can play improv games on your own time, or you can join us. We'll check out the calendar and see when you can join us live for improv games with other flutists. So I'm grateful it's only 60 degrees Fahrenheit here in Austin today and not too terribly cold. I can take off that sweater. All right, so in my opinion, the higher octaves on the flute are the foundation for them is a strong low octave. So I always warm up my lower notes first. Let's do this. Let's start on the A and go down the chromatic scale with 2 notes per breath. Let's try and do this with no vibrato, but with this dynamic shape, starting and ending as quietly as you can possibly play, and in the middle, playing as loudly as you can possibly play. We're developing an awareness of when are we halfway done with our air tank, and also listen or use a visual tuner to discover how can you stay as close to on pitch or in tune as possible, because we know that when we play loudly on the flute, the pitch tends to go sharp, and when we play quietly on the flute, it tends to go quiet. So 2 notes per breath. Let's do A down to A flat. Now let's try an extended technique where we sing and play at the same time. Now this is going to cause a lot of vibration in your embouchure and maybe even a little bit of confusion in your ears as you try and figure out what to do with your voice. But that's good as a warm-up technique because it forces us to focus. What do we need to do to get the note out? So I find it easiest to start the flute note and then start my voice like this. But usually I start my voice pretty much right after I start the flute sound. So let's do that same walk down we did, starting on the A to the G sharp, to the G sharp to the G, etc. So you have a couple of options what you can do with your voice. You can try and sing in unison with your flute, or you could try and sing a chord tone like the D, 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 D. Maybe I'll stick to the D. So let's start on A to A flat. I forgot to say that doing this also develops an awareness of what's going on in your ear throat area. Are you possibly restricting the air? Sometimes singing or activating the voice helps get that air free flowing. Let's do G to F sharp. Now, if the note is cracking up into the higher octave, that's okay, maybe even good, because what we're doing here partly is trying to learn where exactly in our embouchure shape is that change or crack up to the upper octave so that we can do it on purpose when we want to and avoid it on purpose when we don't want to. Let's play that. Let's play like this. A, G. Let's go back and forth on one breath, almost like a trill. Let's take another breath and then add a note in the D minor scale. So we'll do A, G, F, G, A. We'll do that on repeat for one breath. Let's add another note, go down to E. Take a breath, add another note, go all the way down to D. So let's start with A to G. Let's do down A, G, F. Let's do down to E, E. Now let's go down to D, 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 A to D. Okay, hopefully our lower notes are starting to feel warmed up. Let's practice some octave leaps. So let's go from D to D to D to D. Then we'll do E to E to E to E, and so on up the F minor scale. So let's do this in this combination. First, we start with the tongue. Ta, 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 ta. Do 2 groups of that. And then let's do it without the tongue, slurred. Da, ah, ah. Now E. Then F, ta, 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 and then ah, ah, ah. G. Now A. Now let's try that B flat. Now C. Now D. Are you noticing that it's easier to get the note out and for the note to sound when you use the ta to start the airstream? I think it gives a little kick in the speed that helps the note come out. But it's important to practice those slurs for when we want to use them in our improvising or our classical music. And it's important to develop an awareness in our body and mind, the mind-body connection, with where exactly is that change down to the lower octave or up to the higher octave. Let's practice that starting on the higher D and going down. And C. And B flat. And A. And G. And D. Now let's try just a moment of harmonics where we have our fingers placed on a lower fingering, but we try and play a higher note. So let's see if we can get out this D with the low D fingering. Let's just do that for 2 long tones. Let's do it again. This time add a little bit of your flavor of vibrato. Now I like to practice those harmonics because there's a little bit more resistance on the high notes coming out. And so if we can get it out with the extra resistance, we'll be better prepared to get it out with the proper fingering. Let's stick to that note and do just a minute of vibrato practice. So I do sometimes practice metered vibrato where I turn on a metronome and do 1 wave per beat, and then 2 waves per beat, and then 3, and then 4, and then 5, and then 6. But that's kind of like a preparation for this more natural progression from slow to fast, and then maybe from fast to slow. So when I practice the slow to fast, I think about that pattern that a bouncy ball makes when you drop it on the ground. It's big bounce, slightly smaller bounce, even smaller bounce, smaller, 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 and it gets faster and faster and faster as it loses its kinetic energy. So let's try and replicate that on that high D with the harmonic fingering. Slow to fast, and then we'll take a breath and do fast to slow. And fast to slow. So that high-ish D is relatively warmed up. Let's start there and play around a little bit with our upper register. So let's walk up the D minor scale. So we'll do the same two-note pattern that we were doing before. D to E, take a breath. Do E to F, take a breath. F to G, take a breath. G to A, we'll go up to that A. And try and include a crescendo and then a decrescendo. I'm remembering that I like to wear ear protection for these higher notes. Let's do the E to F natural. F natural to G. G to A. Ooh, I noticed what I would call a finger flub there, where my fingers did not move at exactly the same time. And so there's this little extra note in between. Let's try that G to A one more time. Let's try some articulation up there. Let's do on the A. Ta-ka, 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 ta, or da-ga, da-ga, da, until you run out of breath. And let's go back down. Let's try the same on the G. And the F. and the D. Ooh, I'm feeling it here in the muscles around here. Where are you feeling it in your embouchure? The burn, feel the burn as we're in the flute gym, right? In our private flute gym, practice room, workout room. So I think it's a good idea to practice our scales starting and ending on every note. So let's do a little bit of D minor practice. I'm going to grab a metronome so we can practice with the metronome. I'm thinking I'll put it on 100. So let's continue the practice with the double tonguing and do 2 notes per 100. So like D, D, C, C. And then let's go back and forth between those and then add a note in the series. So it'll be like this at first. We'll do that until we run out of breath. Then we'll do this next. Then we'll do this next. Okay, so let's start with the D to C back and forth. I'm remembering a phrase as I do this that a few of my music teachers have mentioned to me. Every musical phrase, every musical note should be going somewhere. So you may notice that I incorporate crescendos and decrescendos frequently to have and create a sense of direction, even when it's not written in the sheet music. It's like I'm composing that part on the fly. So let's do the D, C, B, jump back to D. Now let's go down to A, or, yep. Let's go down to G now. Now let's go down to the F. Now let's go down to the E. just finish the octave and go all the way down to the lower D. All right. Well, thanks for warming up with me. Thanks for practicing some technique, breath control, articulation with me. And if you'd like to improve your improvising, I invite you to join me tonight at 6:30 p.m. Central Time. I'll go live on Zoom. The link is in the school group, and we'll play some improv games first. We'll warm up with those, have some fun, and then I'll talk about Hotel California. I'll show you how I would begin creating a unique improvised melody or harmony with it. You can play along, and then I'll do a little live stream where I might be joined by a couple of you guest flutarians, and you'll get the chance to come on the mic and improvise with me while I'm live on YouTube if you want. So hope to see you there, and happy improvising, happy practicing.